What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 137 are open. Joining me on the show this week, once again, is no one, but we do have some things planned. I'm not going to be by myself the whole time. At least it's not going to seem like it. So basically, over the show, we're going to be talking about some of the random news that happened, but the main thing is the Nintendo Direct. We got a mini Nintendo Direct over the last week. Just randomly dropped in the morning, and it was very exciting. We got some new details on some brand new games, which is good. So I'll be ringing Bryce to have a quick discussion about some of the games he liked and all of that fun stuff. But just an update on Bryce. He's still feeling a bit crook, so he doesn't want to be talking the whole podcast, and most certainly does not want to come over here. I'll slap him in the face before he comes over to my house and spreads whatever he's got to me. But like I said last week, don't think it's the virus, the pandemic that's going on. We might just have a cold, hopefully. But apart from that, it's all going good. So basically, just want to talk about all that fun stuff. Yeah. It's a bit of a thrown together show this week. Still been pretty busy at work. I've been lucky enough that work hasn't stopped for me, so I've still been sharing and all that fun stuff. So I'm quite physically tired at the moment, but that's all good because I know a lot of people out there are a lot less fortunate positions where they don't have work and income at the moment. So I'm happy for that. But before we get to Bryce and the other guests I've got planned, which has already been recorded, it's a interview with my friend Defur, who was actually on episode 37 back in the day. He was like our second guest, and he's a competitive esports player, and he used to be, well, he certainly is still into ARMS, but he used to be competing on the professional circuit and all of that fun stuff. And as soon as I heard that the next Smash character was going to be ARMS related, I knew that I had to go and talk to him about it all. And we had a really good half an hour discussion about Super Smash Bros. ARMS, potential of a sequel and all that fun stuff. I'm saying fun stuff a lot. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It's maybe I'm just looking optimistic. It's all fun stuff. We're talking about Nintendo. It is fun stuff. It's not boring stuff. Certainly not boring stuff. Oh god, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm really sorry. So basically, what I've been playing, like I said, haven't been playing a whole lot. Been playing Animal Crossing. Even that slowed down a little bit just because when I get home, I kind of just have a shower, watch some YouTube, go to bed. I have been managing to go in and do some fishing and harvest my fruit and all that I've planted. And I've got heaps of orange trees planted at the moment, which I go in and I shake them all down, sell them, and I get roughly 50,000 bells for doing it. So I do that every now and again, and that's paid off my house. So I need to check it after the podcast to make sure that Tom Nook's done everything right. The builders haven't put in some faulty drywall or anything like that. I've got to make sure that the builders do a good job. But apart from that, man, not a whole lot. Been dipping back into Pokemon Sword. Obviously, the G-Max raids get rotated every month or so. So I've gone in and caught all the G-Max forms that I didn't have before, which was actually all of them. There was a G-Max Copperajah, G-Max Charizard. I had G-Max Charizard. Who were the other ones? I've actually forgotten. G-Max Duraludon and G-Max, who was the other one? What's his name? Garbodor. Yeah, I quite often forget Garbodor because why would I remember him? Why would I remember Garbodor? Garbodor's cool. He gets a lot of shit. To be fair, in Pokemon Black and White, everyone's saying, there's literally a rubbish bag Pokemon. It's like, that's fine. What's wrong with a rubbish bag Pokemon? He's cool. He's a poison type. He's essentially what a Grima or a Muck is. Leave him alone. And he's pretty cute too. You know what? Just leave him alone. So yeah, I really haven't been playing too much. Just been working, keeping busy. And actually this weekend as well. I was going to like record the podcast and had some things planned. So just to the people in our Discord community that I said, oh, would you like to come on the show and all that type of thing? It fell through because that day was when I was going to have my wedding, which got cancelled. So I really shouldn't have been planning stuff that day anyway. So I spent the day with Chantel, and we we didn't do a whole lot. We went sort of a walk on the beach later that evening, but to be fair, there was no one on the beach. We're not any of those people at St Kilda or Bondi Beach where we're all close together and being dinguses, to put it in a very nice way. Don't do that, people, for goodness sakes, if you're in Australia. Yeah. So let's I guess we're going to move straight into news. Like this is going to be a pretty quick episode. I'm sorry, but I do just I want to put something at least out there in case you're like, oh, I feel like listening to the House of Mario, but I don't know how many people is that. I got no idea. So let's jump into the news. There's a one big chunk of Direct to get into, so let's go.
Woohoo! Yeah! Pika, pika! Is that all?
I fight for my friends.
Woohoo!
My body is still.
So just before we get into the Direct news, we've got two sort of rumors. Well, not two rumors. One's a rumor, and this one is from NintendoLife.com, and the title is League suggests Flipnote Studio is coming to Nintendo Switch. So if you guys remember Flipnote from the 3DS, it's basically an application that allows you to draw and animate your drawings, which is really, really cool. And obviously it's really suited to what the DS and the 3DS were. So the article reads, Flipnote Studio, the popular animation sharing app, which appeared on DSi and 3DS, could be coming to the Nintendo Switch if a new rumor is to be believed. A series of screens apparently taken from a Switch version of the game have leaked online. And I've activated Siri while saying that. I don't know why. Go away, phone. Because it's hooked up to my my device here, and if it makes a sound, it's going to come through. So didn't have to tell you that, but I did. I'm an honest man. Back to the article. According to Source Gaming, the shots are from a development build and were accidentally shared online by someone within Nintendo in Japan. While it could be fairly easy to fake screens like this, Source Gaming had taken a good look at the Japanese text and stated that it checks out. Again, that doesn't mean this is 100% true. Anyone who owns the originals and can speak Japanese could fake this. But if it is a fake, it's a pretty solid mock-up. Take a look at the screens below and let us know if what you make of this rumor. And obviously you guys can't see it unless you click on the article, which I will link below, so you can go and have a look at the screens while you're listening to this. But yeah, I guess the screens look legit. We all know from all the Smash fake leaks and everything that people are very talented out there. So who knows? I mean, it looks very plausible, and but I guess the reason is like with the 3DS and obviously the DS, you had a stylus. It was like it made so much sense to be able to draw. With the Switch, it doesn't make as much sense. I know you can go and buy a stylus from Big W or Target or whatever, and it'll work with the Switch. Any sort of stylus that works with an iPad or your phone's touchscreen, it will work with the Switch. But yeah, it doesn't make quite as much sense, but it would be really cool just for like the infrastructure of Nintendo Online and everything to be able to share these things, because it was a lot of fun just to go through and look at people's like silly little videos. And it is something I miss. It would be cool to like get a bit more of a modern take on it and see how it all goes. All right. So yeah, that's what I have to say on that. Next up is Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 90% of its internal stock in Japan. So, new information about Animal Crossing New Horizons sale figures in Japan. Dengrassi says the game has sold 1,831,000 copies in Japan in the first week of availability. This is 90% of the game's internal stock, compared to Animal Crossing New Leaf that sold only 500,000 and 58,000 in the first week, and went on to sell 4 million in its lifetime. What's even more impressive is that Animal Crossing's New Horizons sold more in its first week than Pokemon Sword and Shield did in the same period. Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 1.5 million copies in the first week of Japan. In Japan, yes. Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit last week, how Animal Crossing sales were coming out, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Animal Crossing is typically a series that it started off very niche, and not until New Leaf on the 3DS back in 2013 that it really like took off and become one of Nintendo's biggest selling series. And it's only going off from here. It's really quite impressive what's going on with Animal Crossing. And like I said last week, really happy to see it. And what's even more shocking is that like they haven't even counted digital sales yet. So a lot of people like myself have gone digital just because it's more convenient. I don't have a shop within 50 Ks that sells Animal Crossing, so I've got to get in the car and do a half an hour trip just to get to my closest EB Games or Big W. So that's a pain in the ass, and it's pretty much the same price once I get the coupons for being a Nintendo Online member, and it's just much more convenient. Even if you live in the city, you can just like, I'm going to download it and it'll be done in the morning, or I can play it as soon as it unlocks. I know, like, I used to be the person that was like, I like my collection. Behind me, I've got my DS collection, my 3DS collection, my Game Boy Advance games, my Wii games, my Wii U games, my PS3 games, my PS4 games, my Vita games. Like, I love my collection, and it really, at the start of the Switch generation, it really did it took a lot out of me saying, all right, I'm going digital. Just because by the end of the 3DS, I was so sick of saying, okay, I'm going to take Animal Crossing, Pokemon with me, and you take it out the case, you put it into your thing, then you've got to like swap them around all the time. And I started playing just a lot more eShop games, my like indie games that I had downloaded, just because I could just jump between them. And I know this argument is just said to death by now. I know everyone gets it. Everyone's sort of chosen their side of how they want to play their games, and that's fair enough. I'm just I'm talking to myself, so I need talking points, pretty much. So yeah, Animal Crossing. It's gonna be massive. I can't believe it's outsold Pokemon. That is I wouldn't have bet money that it would have outsold Pokemon in the first week. Let's see how it continues to go, because Pokemon, we haven't had updated sales for that game since, I guess, the start of the year. We'll be getting new sales figures with the new financial year very soon, because we're at the end of March. So they'll be dropping very soon, and we'll get new updated sales figures of where Pokemon Sword and Shield are. Last time they were about 16 point something. I don't have that up in front of me at the moment, but that is just off memory. And that's huge. So whether Animal Crossing still has the running legs, and obviously at the moment, just with how popular the game is on Twitter and Facebook and just online in general, people's circumstances of being stuck at home, needing a more positive, lighthearted game, it just seems like I don't think the success of Animal Crossing will be stopping anytime soon, which is great. I'm really happy to see that. So let's move into the Direct, and this was really, really quite cool, because we've only a couple of times have we had just a random Direct just appear out of nowhere without saying, hey guys, there's a Direct in tomorrow, it's going to be live streamed, etc., etc. And I'm really happy that it wasn't sort of talked about before, because while the stuff in there was really cool, and a lot of it has me excited, even if it's not necessarily something I'm going to go and pick up, it is good just to have it on Switch, whether it's like one of the third-party games from 2K, or even stuff from Nintendo, like even the indie published stuff by Nintendo and everything. It's just like a lot of neat stuff. But if Nintendo came out and they said, hey, there's going to be a mini Direct, it goes for half an hour, see you tomorrow, people are going to be like, oh my god, where's Breath of the Wild? We've got a sequel to Mario Odyssey, there's a lot going on. And obviously none of that came true. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call Bryce. I'm going to give him a ring, and because he doesn't want to talk the whole episode, because he's got a sore throat, and I think we can all relate to that. We've all had sore throats before, or have we? If you haven't, you've got an amazing immune system. Congratulations on that. Here we go. So, hello, Bryce DeWitt. You're on the House tomorrow. How you going, my friend?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. How have you been? I haven't talked to you for a week. How you been?
Yeah, just recovering. I'm still sick.
Yeah. I've got a bit of a cough now too. it makes me a little bit worried, but I think I'm all right. I don't have any other symptoms.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want you to expose yourself or anything. But do you have any like flu symptoms, or you just got like a bad cough, or?
Oh no, we've had like a full blown cough thing, but I'm not sure whether it's just the flu or what. But I don't think I'm in for any trouble. So yeah,
That's good. So how's Evie going? Has she gotten any better, or?
Yeah, she's still got the cough, but unfortunately, that's part of it. She had some other woes today, which you'll probably find a bit. How you going?
How you going? Yeah.
Yeah, she dropped her Switch and almost broke the Joy-Con off the rail.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Luckily enough, though, it wasn't completely torn off, so I just popped it back in. It's all right, but I don't know how that's going to go.
All right, so like the actual like the rail attachment like sort of popped off a little bit.
Yeah, the rail popped out of the Joy-Con.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, that would be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was she upset? Was she upset?
Was a little bit. Yeah.
Was she upset, or were you more upset?
No, she was fine. She was fine.
Yeah, she's like, Dad will buy me another one.
What I'm going to do, buddy,
yeah, man.
is I'm going to let you introduce this topic real quick, and I'm going to put you on mute because I'm going to go back into the loud for a second real quick.
Okay.
So if you could just introduce what we're talking about, and then I will unmute when I'm ready.
All right. Yep. Come back when you're ready, my friend.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
All right. So I basically rang Bryce because he's a big Xenoblade fan, and obviously loves his JRPGs. Like I do as well. But he, I would say he probably likes them a lot more, or not a lot more, but more than I do. And he's a big fan of the Bravely Default series as well, and obviously with Bravely Default 2. So those are the two games I'm sort of focusing on, but obviously it's a lot more fun to go through all this together. I haven't talked to him for a week, like I said, so it's going to be a lot of fun just to sort of sit back, talk through some of this, and just have some fun. Have some fun with it all. And yeah.
Perfect.
Whoa, he's back. Look out.
I am back. Yeah, I'm currently doing dadly duties while doing this. So.
Well, look at that. You're a man of many talents.
A multitasking man, that's right.
That's right. So, Bryce, what was your first impression when you woke up like in the morning and there's a Nintendo Direct out? What was your first like feeling about that?
It was absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Nobody was obviously expecting it, and I mean that's just the way it is. I guess during the current climate of the world at the moment, that's kind of what we have to expect is just little things popping up out of the blue and just rolling with it. Like, next week we could see a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I don't think so, but
well, that's why I said who knows. But anyway, yeah. So I guess my first thought was, oh shit, there's a Nintendo Direct up. So I better go watch it. So I sat down and watched it. I figured this was going to be the news, especially considering that splash screen at the start. I was like, okay, this is, what they can do in terms of this coronavirus crisis. We just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I just took it as it was. I wasn't expecting anything too crazy. I was kind of hoping for a really big announcement, like a trailer of some kind or something that we've been waiting years for, like Bayonetta or Breath of the Wild 2 or something like that. But we didn't quite get that. But we got some neat and interesting things that make me happy. So that's good.
Yeah. So we got a release date for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and it actually was the rumored release date of May 29th, which is pretty interesting. Remember how we talked about that on the show, and I'm like, oh, go and look at what date that was, and it was a Friday. We're like, that could be it, and it was right.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that's crazy. And I mean, it's relatively close too, so I'm happy about that. Luckily, thanks to what they've put in place for the government and all that, I should still be able to get my hands on it, which is great because I'm looking so forward to that game. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So I guess just looking at it from what was shown, like obviously we'd already seen it before in like a mini trailer. It looked absolutely gorgeous. I played that game in anticipation for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I really wanted to get into the series.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked out perfect, really. I played it, loved it. Got into the second one, loved that too. And now I get to play the first one again, but in all like absolute HD glory, which I'm very happy about. And it's not even that far away.
Yeah, only a few months away. So we got a main game. We've got. I don't think we have anything for April necessarily. But it's at least first party. But we got Animal Crossing. I guess that's going to last us a fair while if we play through all the seasons and that, which I plan on doing at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I've sort of just been logging on Animal Crossing and doing a couple things. I'm not going too hard on it. But it should, just itch my Nintendo need for the next few months at the very least.
Yeah. Like, I know like a lot of people are like really rushing to get everything and they're time traveling and doing all this different stuff. And I'm sort of just like, I put down like the blueprints for the villages that are going to move in. And it's like, how you have to go and get their furniture, you have to go and get their furniture and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, that can wait. I just want to go fishing.
Yeah, I did not do that straight away either because I looked at it. I'm like, for God's sake, I want to do this right now. I'll just leave it. So I did. I left it a couple of days to come back to it and did it all in one sweep.
Yeah, I reckon I'll do that too. Probably on the weekend or something when that comes up. But
you still haven't done it?
No, I still haven't done it. No, I sort of just looked at it and went, nah, I'd rather do other things. I guess
it unlocks a whole bunch of things. You should probably do it.
Yeah, I know.
It unlocks the community center. It unlocks your town flag. It unlocks music tunes that have Isabelle in the thingy.
Yeah, I need to get off my.
Got to do everything.
Well, the thing is, I'm obviously just too lazy in Animal Crossing land to do it. I just want to sit back and harvest my fruit and sell some fish. I think that's all I felt like doing the other night. But yeah, I definitely will get around to doing it, Bryce.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
I'm not worrying, mate. So I guess the one that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to ask you. So, what do you think of the new sort of prologue or epilogue, or bit of story that's added on to the game?
That is awesome because of a very particular reason that I won't go too much into spoiler territory for.
Okay.
In case you're ever curious and want to play both the Xenoblades, but it will help bridge the connection between the two games.
Okay.
Like quite a lot.
Yep.
Which is obviously really important, especially if they're planning a third game. It's not a spin-off like Xenoblade Chronicles X was. Yep. And hopefully it should shed some light on exactly what was going on because the games are sort of at the same time.
Mm.
So their timelines sort of meet up in that regard.
Yeah.
And just seeing new content added to that game, including new areas and stuff like that, that is, exactly what I want coming out of this remaster is a bit of additional extra content. I'm not sure how they're handling the end game this time round, whether once because traditionally in the first one, when you had beaten the final boss, you would go back to the start with all your stuff and you'd get some stuff to go through the game with again and keep going forward, and you can do that up to 3 times.
Yeah.
Before nothing else is added. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be a case of, hey, you can, and you were forced to do that. Like you couldn't just stick around and do nothing. You had to start the game again. There was no choice. So I'm wondering if they're going to have some new post-game stuff that's not just that as well, like maybe some additional bosses and whatnot, and then having the option to erase your save file and start again at any point.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see how they play it out because I would really like to know.
Yeah, it'll be cool if they give you a reason to like stick around and do some more in-game content, maybe like similar to what X did, where it gives you like really hard bosses to really like strive to take down.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. So the
yeah,
epilogue story is called Future Connected. So just hearing what you said, that makes a bit more sense. That it's like, it's going to be literally connecting probably the two stories. I got no idea how. I haven't played the games. You do. Don't spoil it. But
no.
Yeah.
It should, and I mean, the potential for what will happen for a third Xenoblade game will largely depend on what happens in this prologue, in my opinion.
Mm.
So let's hope it's a good one, and let's hope it means good things for the series, because I would love to see a third installment in a couple of years.
Yeah, I wonder if they're doing this to set up for all right, like there might even be a tease the rest of the story is coming in 2022 or something. There might be something at the end of the epilogue there, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be super dope.
Yeah. I guess the other series that you really love, Bryce, is the Bravely Default. So Bravely Default 2, it was shown, and there was a demo release. I don't know, have you had the time to try out the demo or anything like that?
No, I'm probably not going to play the demo.
Yep.
The thing is when demos for these things come out, like, Octopath Traveler and Xenoblade, and Bravely Default 2, I know I'm going to love those games anyway.
Yeah.
So playing a demo is more or less just like a reason to get me even more hyped. But because I'm hyped for so long, I get to release, and then it brings me down a bit.
Mm.
The first two Bravely games are awesome, amazing games. They're probably the best unique JRPGs that Square Enix has put out in a really long time at this point.
Yeah.
in terms of establishing new series.
Mm.
So I'm excited about it enough as it is. I don't need the demo to tell me what I already know about Bravely Default. But I do want to know more about the game. So it's tempting. I won't go and play it, but that game looks awesome already. I'm hoping it's fully voice acted, which it seems it mostly is. The 3DS games were, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the demo is going to be it's kind of like a beta, so they're sort of like asking for feedback about the different systems and how the game goes. Like the demo, what you play in the demo isn't going to be in the actual game itself at all, apparently. Yeah, I'm like you. I haven't played the demo, and I don't know if I will, because with Xenoblade coming out, I've only got so much time for these big RPGs. So I think I might just stick with Xenoblade, just because that's the one where I'm like, it gets my attention the most.
You need to play that game.
Yeah, I know I do. It's definitely on. I've got
you absolutely need to play that game.
Yeah, I've got like a list of there's like games you need to play because of their importance and whatever, and Xenoblade's definitely one of them. There was a while ago when I was pretty serious about picking it up, and I didn't really want to play it on Wii, and I got the 3DS version because it was like super cheap. It was like $20 on clearance. I'm like, oh well, I may as well get it because it's just part of the collection type of thing. But yeah, I couldn't bring myself to playing it just because of like how much of a downgrade it was. So, this is like the perfect time. They're literally remastering it. Maybe it's just for me. I don't know. Maybe this is a sign from Reggie himself. I don't know. It must be.
Hopefully it is, because it's definitely worth the play. It's one of those games that I couldn't get a hold of either, and at the time I was in. So I believe it was the time. Yeah, I was, because I'm pretty sure it was around the time I was moving house. And I emulated it because it was the only way to get me playing.
Yeah.
And I went through the entire game, and usually with emulators, I'm like, yeah, no, it's on an emulator. It's not fine. It doesn't have that achievement weight that you get from actually playing it in its standard form.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But with that game, it didn't bother me. I just kept going and going and going. I enjoyed it that much. It's definitely the crowning achievement for Wii's life. It was even on Wii, it was a beautiful game for what that console could handle. It really pushed boundaries and limits that console had, and I'm excited to see it looking like even more spick than it was before. So
yeah, it's crazy that the Wii could even handle it. I don't know how it could handle it.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, neither do I. It looked PS2-ish, but it still did the job.
Yeah. And I always thought that like the 3DS was like a pretty similar power to the Wii, but that game just showed us that no, that is not the case. the Wii's still got
exactly
quite
right.
a bit more power than it. So moving on to some other stuff throughout it, Bryce. What were some other games you were like that piqued your interest, that got you pretty excited about the next couple of months?
I think mostly collection. So we had the Bioshock collection and the Borderlands collection, which, a lot of people have been speculating for a long time with Borderlands.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's going to be really awesome to pick up and play those games again in a handheld form, getting out and meeting up with people who have got it with it in my pocket.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Bioshock is something I definitely need to play through, so a collection is perfect reason.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually, are you going to get Borderlands collection on Switch after playing it multiple times on other consoles and stuff? Or
yeah, probably will. I'll probably wait for it to drop in price a little bit, much like the Bioshock collection as well. But I intend to pick it up and have some fun with it.
Yeah, like I'm really excited for like those two collections as well, Borderlands and Bioshock. I'll probably definitely get Bioshock. Borderlands will probably come down to whether you or anyone else gets it. I can play with them. But just the problem with the Bioshock collection, this is just the Switch's problem in general with ports that come later. It's like, I really want to play Bioshock on Switch, but I've literally got Bioshock on Steam, which is then been upgraded to the remaster that was done a couple of years ago. On PlayStation Plus, they gave out the Bioshock collection for free, as well as the Borderlands collection. So I've literally got them on PlayStation for free. And then on Xbox with Game Pass, I'm not sure about Bioshock, but definitely the Borderlands collection came to that. And I downloaded that, so I've literally got it on all of my platforms, and with the Switch, they'll be asking $80 for the collection, which isn't necessarily bad value for getting 3 games in one collection, and how good they are and how long they are. But at the same time, I've literally got them. I didn't buy them, but I've got them. So
I agree with that sentiment, but that's why I hunt for those kinds of things on sale, primarily. Because I understand that they're really old at this point. I've played some of them, but the opportunity to go back and visit them again without having such a dedicated screen time necessary for it.
Yeah.
Like sitting in front of the couch and doing it is great. Not that I don't have the time. With the way things are going, we could be stuck inside for 6 months. So I have plenty of time to play games and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see where it comes down the line. I'm not pining for that type of thing, but it's exciting to see those series come to Switch.
Yeah, and it's sorry, you go on.
No, they're both very important series. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I was going to say, just with 2K, this is basically their first like huge push into Switch. We've seen the like the basketball games and that come to Switch, and how they are not the greatest necessarily, but this is like their first like hurrah into giving us, I guess, games Switch owners would be a little bit more interested in if you're not a basketball fan.
Yeah, that's right.
So it'll be good to support them for that. So it's just
absolutely.
There's a lot of games coming out, and we've only got so much money, and what's going on. We've got to save our money to make sure we've got it if we need it, and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of publishers that haven't really supported Switch much, we got EA with Burnout Paradise Remastered coming to Switch. This is
Oh yeah,
this is one I'll definitely be getting. Just this would be just perfect for the Switch.
I miss Burnout.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Like, Burnout is a series that has been missing for a long time that I've just absolutely missed.
You still there?
Yeah.
No, you just cut out then. Yeah, absolutely what?
Oh. I said it was it's absolutely a series that I've missed. It just disappeared off the radar. And so,
yeah, definitely.
Even just getting Paradise on the console would be beautiful.
Yeah. It'd be great just to sit down and play like an old classic Criterion game. Because on PlayStation Vita, they had Need for Speed Most Wanted, which was Criterion's last game before they formed Ghost, and Ghost took over it, the Need for Speed franchise over at EA, and that was a lot of fun just playing that on Vita, just sort of doing races, getting points, just chilling out, doing tricks and all that type of stuff while you had something else going on in the background. So I'll be doing that with this definitely, and for
sure.
With EA saying like, our franchises don't really suit Nintendo, it's kind of like, well, here's Burnout, that's going to suit it pretty well, I feel like, and hopefully. Sure. Hopefully they see some good figures coming from this, and we see like Sims and some other franchises that make a bit of sense on Switch as well. This is a free to play game that stood out to me, but Ninjala. So it's a free to play game with up to 8 players, and it sort of reminded me of Splatoon in some ways, just how it's like a 4-on-4, and you got different weapons and everything. I thought it looked pretty cool, and it's free to play, so I'll be quite keen to. Yeah, I'll be quite keen to jump in and give that a go. I actually missed that it was free to play while the direct was on. It was only like after that I read that it was free to play. I'm like, oh.
You realise?
Yeah, because even like thinking that it might be like a $50 game or something, it was still on my wish list. I was like, oh, yeah, I might get that. That looks interesting.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. More, again, it rattles off Splatoon vibes, which is awesome. The character designs was great, which is definitely a big bonus considering how well the character designs for Splatoon have gone down in communities.
Yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see how much of a community forms through that. Yeah,
will be cool. Just like maybe people that were a little bit sick of Splatoon, they got something different to play, and I dare say this will be supported more than Splatoon, since Splatoon sort of supports stopped about a year ago or so. What do you think of this one? So, that Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer is coming to Switch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, that is so random, but
it's so random. But do you know how good that game is?
Yeah, I've got good memories of playing that. I never actually. None of my friends had it on a 64, but we used to play it on emulator at school. That's where I played it.
I had it on the 64.
You had it.
Yeah.
I never played it with you. I don't think I ever played it with you. I just played it with like random people at school.
I actually think I still may have it somewhere.
Yeah. I wonder if
it's an awesome game. I love that game.
I assume it's just going to be like a pretty standard re-release. I don't know if they're going to like touch it up very much, but
I would love if they did, plus added in wireless multiplayer or online multiplayer. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be 100% on online play, but they'll definitely put in. I definitely hope they'll put in switch the Switch multiplayer.
I'd be 100% on online play. That game is just so fucking fun.
Yeah, I know. I hope they do, but I just
wicked.
Yeah, just wicked. I haven't played it in so long though. It's been years since I played it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was also a very challenging game too. By the time you had to try and beat Sebulba.
Yes, buddy Sebulba.
In the last couple of matches.
Yeah, Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Yes. Catherine full body. So.
Oh yes.
So
I've been waiting to play that game literally since the first release.
Yeah. I was meaning to go back and play it like on Xbox 360 and that through backwards compatibility. Then It came to PS4 and Vita, or actually, it only came to Vita in Japan. And it's kind of like, oh well, it'd be good if it was on Switch. And now here it is. So this is like one of like Atlas's first steps onto the Switch, which is good. So even if you're not interested in this, it might be like a little bit of a sign, like, oh, it might be like the first sort of steps for maybe getting like a Persona game on Switch. Who knows? Probably not.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Everybody Black Catherine full body. Not only will it up your chances of getting Persona 5 on Switch, but apparently Catherine is a very good game, so we're going to roll with that.
Yeah, it's got some very mature themes about relationships and everything, and in the full body edition they've added. So basically, what the story, from what I understand, is there's two girls called Catherine, one with a C, one with a K. One's your girlfriend, and one's the I guess the woman you're cheating on your girlfriend with. And in this version, they've added a third Catherine, which I don't know what her involvement is in this like love triangle, but and the gameplay is sort of like, it reminds me of like a Pool Block. So what was that game on 3DS? Pushmo. Yeah, it's kind of like that. You're sort of like, you're trying to escape your dreams, and you're trying to like get to the top of all these blocks by pulling them out and just making your way up. Yeah, I haven't actually played it myself, but just from like watching gameplay and watching reviews and all that type of thing, that's what I get from it. So this is probably my time to play it. Like a lot of these other games, just like coming to Switch 8 years later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it's the same for me. I haven't played it yet, but I've been meaning to play it all these years.
Yeah.
Now's the time playing it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a few other games here, Bryce, but I'll just get you to say any remaining ones you were excited about before I let you go, and look after your kids and watch Desperate Housewives on the YouTubes and whatever you're up to.
To be completely honest with you, I really should have refreshed because I don't remember much more than what has been mentioned. I know that Panzer Dragoon was shadow dropped. When was it? On the day of the direct?
Yeah, it was shadow dropped. Yeah, they talked about it at E3, but they sort of went quiet until today, where they just said, "Here it is." It's like, okay.
I'm interested to see what the hype about that is, because I hear some things of people like they're like, "Oh, it's a really good game," but I don't know how much I'm willing to invest in Panzer Dragoon. So that's one thing. What else?
I'll quickly go through the rest, and we'll get through them together, and you can say whether yay or nay, I guess. So there's Good Job.
Okay.
There's Good Job, which in the press release it says, in this madcap action puzzle game from Nintendo, platform hilarious and challenging task around the sprawling office building to get the job done by any means necessary. Alone or two-player modes. Good Job launches on Nintendo Switch and on Nintendo eShop today. So that game looked interesting.
That was the other thing.
That's an indie game published by Nintendo. Not sure who the developer is, because on the eShop it just says Nintendo. But yeah, that looks interesting. It's $30 Australian. I haven't picked it up yet, but it looks like a fun little puzzle game to play.
That it does.
So they had Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 DLC with a what is it here? So it's Doctor Doom versus Marvel's First Family when Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order expansion pass, Pack 3, the Fantastic Four Shadow of Doom launches on Nintendo Switch today. So I know you don't care about that because you haven't played the game. Ring Fit Adventure update actually looks really cool, and that was another sort of push to be like, oh, I kind of want this now. I don't know if that was the same for you.
Yeah, me too.
Like the rhythm game with Nintendo music involved with it. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it definitely looks fun.
If I ever see it in stock and on like a little bit of a sale, I'm like, all right, I'll get it. I think that's going to be they're pushing me towards it.
Yeah, for sure.
Arthur, what's Arthur trying to say, Bryce? Is he been a bit cheeky there?
He's saying wah wah.
Wah wah. Is that
Wow.
is that Arthur
Typing his name.
or are you holding Waluigi?
Oh yeah, no, I'm holding Waluigi.
He's holding everyone just shut your eyes and imagine Bryce holding Waluigi, and Waluigi's like small in Bryce's arms, and he's like wow, 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 wow. There was this indie game called Shin Sekiya Into the Depths, and for those that pay attention to Apple and the Apple Arcade announcement, this was the sort of under the sea platform game that they sort of announced at Apple's conference back late or September last year. It looks interesting. It kind of looked boring at Apple's conference back last year, but it actually looks Nintendo, the way they sort of presented it made it look a bit more interesting. So that's now on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I think I'll give that one a pass.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a go, but that's only because I can get it for free on through my subscription with Apple Arcade. But it wouldn't catch me enough to be like, all right, I'm going to drop money on it. But we might be wrong on that one. Star Wars Jedi Knight, right. Jedi Academy. So
yeah,
I never played this one, but there's a lot of the guys in the Discord were excited about this one. I know Jamie in particular was really excited about this. But as soon as they saw the price of $30, they went no. They just sort of everyone just said it went nah.
Mainly because it's relatively old at this point, and I mean, like Jedi Academy is a really good game, but it's one of those games that, especially with what they've been doing with it, if you've seen that, how they haven't changed like all the way down to like the code of like the networking. They haven't even changed that.
Yeah.
So Switch and PC players are getting in on each other.
Yeah. So I'll read what Jamie said in the Discord, and everyone just keep in mind this wasn't written to be read on the podcast. This is just him casually saying, I hope it's okay that I read this, Jamie. If not, well, I'll buy you a pizza or something and I'll send it to you. So he says, so my brother picked up Jedi Academy on Switch, and watching him play it, the frame rate is very smooth and flows very well. He did show me some of the speeds levels, and it's just as glitchy as the PC version, but it's really only on those levels. Otherwise, the gameplay is pretty much the same. It's also pretty much graphically the same as back in 2003. Control-wise, it's interesting. You use the Z triggers for your lightsaber and blaster attacks, the D-pad for switching between force abilities and weapons, and the other face buttons for jump, interactions, etc. Also, if you're playing handheld, the Switch motion controls... sorry, I'll start again. If you play handheld, switch the motion controls off. Apparently, they aren't very good. So yeah, there's some advice there as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I personally, I don't have it. It looks like fun just running around and hacking each other with everyone with lightsabers. But yeah, I never actually played it.
No, yeah.
In 2003, that's when I was still obsessing over Pokemon, and I didn't have a console, so that's probably why. Or a PC.
It's definitely a really good it's definitely a really good game in terms of both single player and multiplayer. Yeah. Definitely one of the better Star Wars games that has ever been released. But again that price tag is probably a hindrance for it.
Yeah, like it'll go on sale. I think it'll be like a good $20 to $15 pickup. Yeah. So there's King's Bounty, sure. King's Bounty 2. So since 1990, the King's Bounty series has been influencing the evolution of Western RPGs. In this new sequel, the series is back with a fresh look and new approach. In King's Bounty 2, the graphics are more realistic. In-game choices matter more than ever, and a new character development system informs the ethics and alliances of new characters. King's Bounty 2 launches on Nintendo Switch in 2020. So this one didn't really get my attention either because of, just the genre that it's in. What about yourself? Do you...
Yeah.
Same thing? I would have...
Nah.
Yeah, I would have...
Passed for that one.
Yeah, I would I would have guessed that you would have passed that one. And apart from that, it was just Animal Crossing DLC, which was Bunny Day, which lasts for 12 days. So that's nice, but it's not just one day and you won't necessarily miss it. and sort of an update on the Pokemon DLC, which I was actually pretty happy with the Pokemon DLC. So basically, with you get Urshifu, and you go throughout. You can choose either the Dark Tower or the Water Tower, and depending on which one you go to and beat, that's when Urshifu will evolve into either form, whether it's the Dark form or the Water form. And I really do like the approach they're taking, that because once you beat the game, you can get level 100s within 3 minutes. It's like super easy to do, and when you think of like how are they going to balance you going into these battles with like super strong Pokemon, and the way they've done that is basically they're giving you one Pokemon, and I dare say they're going to block that Pokemon from being able to consume candies or any way of like leveling it up and making it OP. So you're just like naturally leveling up that Pokemon as you're going through that very particular story. So I really like that. I think that's a smart way to do it. Like you have the one,
for sure.
you have the one Pokemon, and that's what you go through it with. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
whoa, Jesus!
it definitely looks like it's going to be a great addition to the game, and like again, a lot of people complaining about the expansion pass and like the cost additional to it. You've got to keep in mind that instead of buying a whole brand new game, you are buying this, and you are getting a fair bit of content out of it. This is just wave one of that content, and from what I'm seeing, it's looking pretty good. So I can't really complain.
Yeah, it's looking really cool. I'm just looking forward to just having a brand new wild area type area to go through. And oh no, oh Jesus, Bryce.
That's all right. You keep talking for a minute.
All right. I'll turn that down a bit. I'm just really looking forward to being able to go through the different areas and be able to just explore another area instead of just being stuck in the wild area I've been running around for the last 100 hours or so. So I dare say you're happy about that one too. All right. Have I lost you, Bryce? I have. Oh no.
You haven't, my friend.
Oh, he's back. Thank God for that. You had me sweating, Bryce.
I've got to put Arthur down to sleep. I've been holding him for like 25 minutes.
No, fair enough. I'll let you go now anyway, Bryce.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much for your time.
Easy.
Yeah, I will, dude. You too.
And hopefully you have a good chat with other people.
I will. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later in the week.
All right, buddy.
All right, dude. Catch you later. See ya. All right, so Bryce had to put up with his kid there for a little bit. He's getting a bit grumpy. We're approaching 9 o'clock our time. So, it's getting late for the kids. It's just fair enough. No, I'm getting a bit grumpy myself. I'm going to start crying in a minute. So yeah, that was a Nintendo Direct. And the last thing we have to cover is sort of the Smash news that came out. So, we heard before that Sakurai and the team have sort of postponed or delayed the new Smash character coming out because of coronavirus, and that's all fair enough. That makes 100% sense. What's going on? Don't risk health for anything. I was going to say game development. Just don't risk health for anything, because at the end of the day, health is what matters. But I think that's what made just getting any sort of announcement surprising, that there's going to be an ARMS character joining the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster, and it's going to be the first fighter in the new DLC pass. And I'm really excited for it. And I'll back in 2017, I really enjoyed ARMS. I think it was so much fun. I think the idea was really unique. The way it implemented motion controls was a lot of fun. It wasn't as good as using a pro controller as far as getting it to do what you want it to do, but being able to punch forward and sort of twist your wrist and see the arm or whatever weapon you're using sort of bend out and hit the opponent, and you can sort of follow up with another one when you twist and you do an uppercut or something. It was really cool. And it sort of just got squashed by Splatoon, but we'll talk about that with our next guest, which is pre-recorded. It's Defur. I talked to him on the weekend, and he was kind enough to stay up to about midnight his time, so I could record in the morning and do what I had to do during the day. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest, Defur, to talk about ARMS and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So Defur, welcome to the House of Mario. How are we going?
Good. It's good to be back. I guess I can say that since it's been quite some time. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good to be back.
been over 100 episodes. For some reason, episode 25 was the episode, but I can't. I was going to go and have a look, but I completely forgot actually until right now. But I should be doing that.
That's crazy though.
Yeah. So, how's it going over in Sweden? Obviously, a lot of things in the world are bit different at the moment, but how are you personally coping?
Well, right now I'm enjoying indoors way more than I did just some day ago with the news that came out yesterday that was related to ARMS. But otherwise, just keeping my mind in the good spirits. It's soon summer here, so we actually do have some light outside and not just darkness.
That's really good. Yeah, because we're in summer over here at the moment in Australia, so we've got plenty of sun still. Just it's hard to enjoy it.
Yeah, I get that.
But so for those that don't know, that haven't listened to the House of Mario since episode God knows what, just introduce yourself a little bit. What you're all about and why I've brought you on as our ARMS expert.
Yeah, sure thing. So I dedicated most of my life, I would almost say, for the length of maybe 2 or 3 years when ARMS was released to the game and the community. I made a podcast about the game initially. I made esports team for the game, and I traveled around the world to the tournaments to commentate the tournaments, and also I organized a bunch of tournaments. So I guess everything that's been related to the game, I've if it's been like community related, I've had mostly some hand in it. So I've been involved in many fronts, and now since a while after, I've started actually working in esports from kind of the stuff that I did from ARMS. So it's been something that has been something that I've cherished for quite some time.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you've basically transferred your passion of esports and video games into like a full-time job, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's so I worked with game development before, but doing all of these kind of tournaments, the streams and everything, it actually led me to a job as a content manager at an esports company right now. So I couldn't be happier that there's not a lot of people that get that chance to turn their passion into actually something that you earn money from. So I'm super grateful, and that's why I'm kind of so happy right now.
Yeah. So what just I guess pivoting before we get to ARMS, what type of games do you work with at the moment? What type of competitions for what games do you organize?
Yeah, sure thing. So the company is called G-Loot and the brand is called GLL, and pretty much the main games that we've worked with is mainly PUBG, our PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and then we've also started to include Auto Chess, which is a part of the new Auto Battler genre, and also Apex. So it's different from the fighting game, but it's still very much esports in that regard, and it's been actually like a learning experience for me too, since I haven't been too involved in those games previously. Now it's something that I've gotten to learn through work, actually.
Yeah. I guess jumping from the ARMS community or the Smash community, which is pretty tight together, I would imagine that jumping to Apex Legends or PUBG would be just a completely different vibe of what you're used to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have cape and tabs on StarCraft and Counter-Strike and all of those scenes before, so it's not completely foreign to me, but it's definitely different to work with, and it just FGC is still at that level where it's very much so grassroots. A lot of the initiatives are made by the community still. It's starting to change, but it's nowhere near where esports is for games such as PUBG or Apex. EA and these big corporations like pumping in money into events and such things.
So I guess after experience with that, and now that Nintendo is sort of showing that they want to push ARMS a little bit, whether it's because of the Smash character or because they are ramping up for an ARMS 2. How did this news feel? How did you feel about this news when it dropped yesterday in the mini direct that they're shining light on ARMS again, and there's going to be a brand new Smash character, which we don't know who it is, what character in the roster it's going to be. But how did that make you feel initially, since you were so close to the game?
It was unreal, to be honest. It's kind of hard to put into words how much it means to me. I almost had to preface that when I told relatives and close to me, why are you so freaking out about this? It's this game actually means a lot to me. But it's making me super happy. It's one of those things where I think people that were involved in ARMS for quite some time, they kind of lost hope in a way that they didn't expect anything to come after a while. Nintendo kind of stopped the initiatives around ARMS, and then it just kind of went silent. So this was such a complete surprise because when Smash Ultimate was initially announced, also they had some ARMS content in the game. So I think most of the community never expected that more stuff from ARMS would be added into Smash, with the assist trophies and the spirits. Yeah, the spirits, they're called. So it's been great. I think now it feels like the sky is the limit from where the community standpoint, because now it suddenly feels like maybe we can do something with this again. People are starting to kind of flock back as well. So it's a lot of things is happening this week. It's very crazy.
Yeah, I guess with also the free trial for the game, it's going to be a great time to sort of maybe get the community revved up again and get new people in, because they can literally go to the eShop and just download the game.
That's gonna be a really interesting thing, actually. They announced a tournament for North America. They did one an online tournament, I think a year or 2 years ago, and now they're doing another one, which is I think the last time I checked, it had over 220 signups for North America. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of timed with the trial as well. So people are going to be able to play it for free, and then they're going to see how the best players in the game are playing in it for this tournament that they have.
Yeah. So when they announced the character, or maybe just that there will be an ARMS character in the game, when they just said, all right, it's going to be one of these characters, we'll tell you in June or coming up to June, what character do you personally hope it is, or will work the best in Smash Ultimate?
It's very interesting. I'm looking at the picture right now where they did announce that, and because they're displaying all of the characters, and when I've thought about Smash DLC, I've always tried to look at it from a Nintendo company perspective, and how they've announced the previous characters has always been almost always been this kind of switch and bait thing. And personally, I would hope for Springman, because that's the main character that I've used throughout the years. But I'm almost expecting either that it's gonna be Biff, which is the the mascot of the game, which wasn't a playable character, or maybe even a new character, and segueing that into an announcement for ARMS 2, because the timing is so strange right now that it is, isn't it? Doesn't really make it doesn't really make any sense into for them to do another season of DLC for this game. It it's Nintendo, so you never really know. But historically, it doesn't really feel correct. So I'm of course I'm always hoping for Springman, but I'm almost thinking that it's gonna be either the mascot that they're gonna turn into a character, or that they're going to make a new character. And that could be done in several ways, but I have no doubt that they'll make it interesting. There are so many mechanics that they could play around with to kind of implement into Smash, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it would be Springman just because he's already an assist trophy in the game.
Yeah.
And I guess...
I agree.
Yeah, and I guess the other characters are like a lot more interesting because I guess Springman is like your typical character that you would probably... he's the mascot of the game. He's a bit more, vanilla compared to the other characters who have like really different attributes to them. But what you said about Biff maybe being in the game, that would be really funny, like saying like it's one of these characters and then like Biff's in the top corner. And you're like, oh no, it's actually him. It's none of these other characters.
I think the main reason for I'm not thinking that it's actually one of the characters is because they haven't really had they haven't really been displayed in marketing in the same way as Springman has and Biff. So the other characters have, they're included, but there's never really been like, marketing cutscene video including them or anything like focusing on a specific character. So I just find it hard to see why it would be, why would it be Mechanica instead of Min Min or anything like that.
I wonder if it's just going to come down to Sakurai being like, all right, this is the character with the characteristics that I like and sort of the moves that I can see working into a move set. So maybe that's what he will see. You retweeted something pretty interesting, which I hadn't actually seen anywhere else. I hadn't hit my feed until you retweeted it. But this is a translation from Sora Sakurai's, Twitter account. And the translation at least says, a new fighter from ARMS will join Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Despite this special request, it is very difficult to stick to the rules of the game, as well as find the right balance while maintaining the spirit of ARMS. Prepare for a fighter with an entirely original mechanics. So that's one of the most interesting things to me, that we might get a character that isn't just your typical character where you do like a forward smash, which is like a big arm that comes out and does a forward smash, or a B, or a special move that does like your typical thing you might expect from one of these characters. We might get something where you even like use the triggers as each arm or something. That's what it sounds like to me, where you're actually like really using the mechanics from ARMS into Super Smash Bros. What do you think about that when you first saw that translation?
Yeah, like initially when I thought about it, the first thing, so the kind of key points that they focused on when they marketed ARMS from the beginning, because that's mostly what I'm kind of basing that on, is that the fact that you can customize your character with different arms is one of the main things that they pushed in the beginning. I don't know how many thousands of combinations that you can have for one character, but you can switch the arms out. So when you first start the game, you have 3 different arms for a character. So I could really see them doing one of these things that when they go an extra mile to how they treated a hero, for example, hero from the Dragon Quest series, when you have the down B special attack is you bring up this kind of selection menu from Dragon Quests to do different magic spells. And I could definitely see arms being some kind of down B, where there you can either you switch out the arms or you can select a different arm or something that gives you a different maybe an element to your attacks, or like a wind box for some certain attack or something like that. That was what I initially thought. Then I saw another Swede, Leffen, who streamed a bit of ARMS last night. He was saying that maybe they were trying to implement the motion controls into Smash, which
no.
yeah, like I could just see people's wrists are gonna break from that. I think there's a reason that the motion control works in ARMS because of its simplicity and streamlined way, but some of the mechanics in Smash is gonna really hurt people, I think, if they do that. It could be, but other than that, I'm interesting to see, like, the focus has always been about the camera being behind the character. So maybe it's something.
I don't think they'll go that far. I think that's
No. And I'm just saying in the sense that instead of thinking about the characters moving on a 2D plane, maybe they can move like closer or further away from the screen, like Helix can kind of shift his body left and right. Maybe you can dodge in a different way. Then I'm not sure. That's but either of those kind of three, I would kind of imagine it to be like something focused around arms, maybe something controller related, or the movement of the character.
Yeah, I do really like the sound of being able to equip different weapons to your arms, like in the actual game. I reckon that'll be fantastic. Whether I think probably the best way for that to be, like, I was thinking the same as you, is like a down B, select from a menu. But in the actual in the game itself, you're not able to change your arms during the actual match. So I would imagine it'll be like on the character select screen. You might have like a few to choose from, and you choose from them there. I would imagine that would probably be what they might go for. Not sure. Kind of like I guess Pokemon Trainer, where you can like rotate who you start off with first, who comes at the ball when you start the game.
Maybe, I didn't even think of that, but that's actually a legit thing. That's I'm gonna hold a quote for you if that actually comes true. That sounds like a good idea. I always also think whenever they add wacky DLC for Smash, is that the pain for the actual designers to implement all of these things is like, I saw some tweet of someone who's just like, okay, how is Kirby going to adapt to that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just feel bad for the programmer who gets that assignment. It's almost like I'm wondering if they have a specific Kirby QA person or something, because so many things could probably break from that.
I remember Sakurai, whether it's in an interview or something, just talking about the DLC characters, but then he brought up like how much of a nightmare it is to like make a character, and like, all right, now we've got to go back to Kirby and fit it into Kirby as well. I was like, I wonder if like he's like really regretting, like, why did I make him copy abilities? Maybe I should have just taken out in this one and just made him suck them in and spit them out like DDD does. I was like,
yeah, I think it's hard because it's like Kirby is like the original character for Smash, right? Like some of the inputs is from Kirby, so it's always been there, so it's hard to escape from. But yeah, I can definitely imagine him having a second thought about that decision sometimes.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like, Kirby's Sakurai's baby, so he's probably quite happy just to make him one of the most unique and cool characters. Yeah.
Unfortunately for it being one of the lower tiered characters in most people's eyes, but that's a separate topic and discussion for sure.
Yeah, depends who he's versing. If he hits a good good special.
yeah, very much so.
So, are there any other little tidbits you'd like to bring up as regards to the ARMS community and Smash and what's going on?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, besides the the kind of theories that comes with these timings of the announcements, it's very much when I think there was a comment initially that they wanted to have ARMS in Smash from the get-go, but they couldn't because it came in too late into the process, so that it actually got in now later is something that I do strongly believe suggests that something more is on the horizon. That's why I'm kind of not, I'm considering that it could be a new character and a new game, because I think when the character is implemented, it's around where E3 was supposed to be. And that's usually when Nintendo has other big announcements. So, but that's just mostly theory crafting. Another thing that I kind of was thinking about that I don't think, because I think a lot of Smash players, when they heard this announcement, they were kind of, why ARMS? As you said when we started up, there was a game that they played for a week and then they stopped and they never heard anything about it. Of course, that's not true from my perspective, but I'm okay with them thinking that. I think another thing that Smash players might tend to forget is that when ARMS was released initially for the Switch, there was an initiative in Japan to have competitive tournaments for the game hosted officially by Nintendo, which was very, very different. It was one of the first times where, they've had Splatoon related things, but this was very much like, a fighting game tournament where you can win. You won like this big wrestling belt, and they had these different locations in Japan where they would host these tournaments. And Smash kind of took that spot when it came out, and I think a lot of kind of what ARMS did was like a testing grounds for Nintendo when it came to competitive viability of how do we work with esports. So I don't. I can definitely see there also being like, a further progression from Nintendo to test those things with maybe a smaller brand or IP such as ARMS. So, because I've seen a lot of hate from the Smash community of like, why is this character in? But I think the way Nintendo is progressing to kind of try to understand the esports and working with competitive tournaments in general, ARMS, people might be a bit grateful to ARMS because that's how they tested a lot of things initially. Hopefully that's a good sign of Nintendo continuing to do that, because I would love to see more competitive stuff coming from Nintendo.
Yeah, like I do feel like they could be like trying it out with ARMS, because it will be smaller than Smash, and they will have to put less money in, and they can sort of work it out from there, and obviously build up a game that doesn't have as much, I guess, of a fan base, obviously, as Super Smash Bros does, or even Splatoon, which is huge in Japan, where they're trying to get that tournament going. What you said about the sequel, though, I think what we are seeing is they wanted to get this information out now, in March. So we're thinking about ARMS. We can have access to ARMS. We can play it. We know that the next character is going to be an ARMS character. We're all talking about it. We're talking about it on this podcast. We're talking about it on Twitter. It's starting to pick up. But in a couple of months, whether it's like just before the character launches or just before the month before, whenever it's going to be, I think they're going to be like, all right, here's the character, or here's a brand new character, and yes, they will confirm a brand new game. ARMS 2 or whatever it's going to be, because it came out in 2017. It got sort of overlooked because Splatoon came out the month after, so a lot of people with their brand new Switches did play the game for I played it a lot, and when Splatoon came out, I was like putting my time between both, and it sort of like fizzled out from there for a lot of people, except for yourself and the community you're a part of. But yeah, so it's been 3 years. So it seems like if there's a sequel, 3 years would be the expected gap between it all.
Yeah, a decent chunk of time. And I think, if you look, I think a lot of stuff is especially in hindsight, when you look at how Nintendo presents stuff throughout the years and when they present them and how they follow up on stuff, like how they did with Splatoon and Splatoon 2. I just see too many similarities to not imagine that there would be a sequel, or maybe even, a straight up like ARMS Deluxe, like they did with Pokken and with Mario Kart, and because they keep reusing ideas in a way. They kind of come up with a concept, they polish it, and then they use it for several IPs. So but I'm not going to be too optimistic. That is just a dream scenario to like think about a sequel, but it very much feels like it in if you look at how they've done stuff previously with announcements of sequels or redux or deluxe versions of games.
Yeah, like it seems like this marketing, they're not trying to push the existing game because they are giving it out for a free weekend. I don't know if they're trying to make you say, all right, I will go and buy ARMS 3 years later. I think they are still working towards something else. That's what it seems like to me anyway. But just to wrap up, if we do get an ARMS sequel, what would you like in a sequel as a hardcore player?
Ooh, that's like the best question you can ask anyone that is like invested in these types of games. But I definitely would like to see. I think what people have asked for the most is just more content to kind of understand the world of ARMS a bit more, so they can latch onto it longer than ARMS, like the initial game. Personally, I'd like to see a bit more of complexity, adding a bit of complexity in mechanics, whether that is wall jumping, teching if you fall down, maybe even skins for the game, anything to just kind of deepen it. But because I think they really found a core loop of the game that it works so well that they can now expand upon that and add new things that they couldn't or felt like they couldn't with the initial game. So mechanically or world building, but I have no doubt that Nintendo is going to do it well. The online part of the game is even better than what people are used to in Smash. So
No, I'd hope so.
I was actually it's very also some like a forgotten topic, but the way the ranked system works and how
that was fantastic. Yes, I do remember now. Yeah, that was absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that around the game, like the systems that they implemented of just peer-to-peer. And if you lag in Smash, you have like a PowerPoint slideshow. You don't really have that in ARMS, and you can play in super long distances and have decent games with people online, which is dare I say like unusual for Nintendo games. So and just like if I was in some kind of upper management, I would just be like, keep up the good work to Yabuki, who is the producer, and I'm sure that it'll turn out fine.
Yeah. Personally, what I would like to say is just what you said about just adding character and world building. I think what made Splatoon stick was just like the hub world and being able to sort of exist in that area and sort of get an idea about what Splatoon is. Because if, like, for example, if it was just like ARMS, you boot up Splatoon and then there's just like a menu where you can go to do like a battle or you can go to the story.
Yeah.
It would be like a lot. I don't know if the personality would have come across as well as it has because of the hub area. I think ARMS would benefit like just kind of copying Splatoon in that aspect, just being like, all right, you're in this area, you can choose your character, you run around, you can do messages through what kind of seems like Miiverse but isn't Miiverse anymore. You can do all these types of things. You can go up to this person, talk to them. You can get you can unlock different arms through doing things and going to talk to him, and maybe like a single player story where you can sort of invest yourself in those characters more. I think it would really benefit from just sort of what Splatoon 2 has done.
Yeah, I just to finally add on to that, because I really agree, and that's one of those things that if that were to happen, we would definitely look back and say, well, they did that in Splatoon and they tested it, and then now they're doing it in this game, because that's how a lot of the decisions and stuff that they've implemented in games over the years has been more becoming, well, they did kind of test that in the other game. Oh, okay, well, now it's coming here too. So I could definitely see that, hell, why not a character creator, Oh
my god, yeah, that'd be cool, especially since it's so customizable anyway with the different arms. Yeah,
for sure.
So I want to thank you very much for your time today, Defur. if you'd like people to check out your work and your Twitter and all of that stuff, where can people find you?
Thank you for having me on, first of all. And you can find me at Defur, Defur, on Twitter, Twitch, and I guess Instagram too. And, check out ARMS. There's tournaments happening online all of the time in most regions. And I have, I'm very confident that you'll find some other people to play with, especially these days.
Yeah, I reckon I'll jump back into it. I reckon have a few games. It kind of just like reminded me, like, oh yeah, that game's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, when people are playing it,
Yeah. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the show and Defur. Have a good one. And we're back in the future. Hope you enjoyed the interview and all of that fun stuff. I'm saying fun stuff a lot. I know I said that at the start of the episode, but I got to be honest, sort of doing this by myself this week, sort of stumbling a bit. I felt like I did a, all right job last week, but it's stumbling a bit tired, a bit all of that. But with all that said, I think we might skip Reggie's Rec Room for this week. It's already a long episode, so I don't think anyone will mind that. Even if I don't know, if anybody got to the end, let me know, because I really appreciate that. Whenever I do a podcast, it reminds me of like writing a letter, putting it in a bottle, throwing it in the ocean. You just assume no one's going to see it, but if someone reads it, that is fantastic. That is a plus. And if you hear back from that person, that is fantastic. And that's what I see doing this podcast and uploading it to the internet. It's like putting a letter into the ocean. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. It's been an exciting time for Nintendo, just with the Direct and everything, and just good times. Good times. So, everyone, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 137. If you enjoy the show, you can leave a review on iTunes. Make it 5 stars, for goodness sakes. Don't test me. Don't test us, ladies and gentlemen. That sounded a bit aggressive. I'm sorry about that. I'm not an aggressive person, but, I've got to do what I've got to do to look after my family, Don't get in the way. You can follow me at @Ruby. You can follow the show at the House of Mario, and you can follow Bryce at @IVRevan, and you can follow Defur. I should have. We actually said in the interview. I did too. I'm gonna look it up quickly. I know he said. So you can follow at Defur _ so DEFUR _ You can follow him there, and he's a really good follow if you're interested in the esports and sort of a sub community of esports players. It's really interesting. I really enjoy just like seeing his videos for ARMS and Splatoon and everything that he's a part of. So definitely worth a follow. Go and check him out. And this week's... sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. I really am apologetic about it. But this week's Nintendo Jukebox is a Super Mario Galaxy Gusty Gardens remix. It's by QMU Music, and it is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So, until next week, the doors to the House of Mario are closed. Catch you later.